autumn, you joined me on a ski road trip to the Austrian Tyrol, home of the highest concentration of open ski pistes anywhere in the world in October. I managed to visit and ski out 5 different ski areas in 6 days, but there was one, of course, that I missed off the list, and that's where I'm going now. Val Senales, or Schlaustal, is on the Italian side of the Tyrol. It's only a stone's throw away from Kunatal and Pitztal, where I visited last year, but to get there it's around about 3 or 4 hour drive, so it just didn't make sense to tag it onto the list last year. So I thought I'd come back and give it a go this time around. But of course, this is a hell of a long way to be driving just to visit one ski area which only got a few runs open. So I'm also planning to go to Passo Stelvio, or the Stelvio Pass, which is unique in the Alps, and that is the only summer-only ski resort in the whole of the Alps. By that I don't mean that it's the only ski resort open in summer. There's quite a few that are open in summer, including the ones that I visited last autumn. But the Stelvio Pass is only open in summer. Its season runs from June through to typically the end of October, depending on the road conditions. And that's largely because the road drives up to 2,700 metres, indeed over 2,700 metres. So trying to keep that open in winter will just be impossible. So I'm hopefully going to do a couple of days at each of those 2 ski areas, but I've also brought my road bike this time around, because the Stelvio Pass, as well as being a unique ski area, is also one of the most famous road biking climbs in the world. It's an absolutely spectacular road with really tortuous windy hairpins, and it's a regular in the Giro d'Italia, and yeah, I've been wanting to ride at that for years, so fingers crossed I'll be able to do that as well, but only if it warms up a bit, because it's currently about -10 at the top of the road, and I'm a fair weather roadie. I'm not riding up there in -10. This is all assuming I can even get to Italy, because first I got to drive over, I think, 4 mountain passes. The first one being the Furka Pass, which if you remember back to my video last year, is nearly 2,500 metres, and right now it's dumping down with snow. Okay, that wouldn't normally be a problem, but it's September. I've still got my summer tyres on my van, and I haven't got any snow chains either, so it could be interesting. According to the signs, the road is open still, but it's warning of snow and ice on the road, so yeah, we should have to see how I go. If the Tunnel de Mont Blanc's still been open at this time of year, then of course I could have driven that way and down through Aosta and avoided most of the high mountain passes, but it's not, so if I want to avoid paying for all the tolls, this is the only way I can get there. If the tunnel had been open, then I also would have been able to visit the Matterhorn Glacial Paradise, whatever it's called, the Kleiner Matterhorn ski area from the Brulcevigna, the Italian side, which have added at least an extra day's skiing to my itinerary. But as I've mentioned before, just getting up there from the Swiss side, from Zermatt, is just logistically difficult, as you can't drive up to Zermatt, and not only that, it's also really expensive, so yeah, I won't be doing that this year. If you want to know more about the journey, then I'll direct you to part 1 of my road trip video from last year, as I'm taking virtually the same route as I took last time around, up until the last hour or so of the trip, so I won't bore you all with it again. But it's an absolutely stunning journey when you can see it, but right now the weather's pretty miserable and it's closing in fast. I mentioned at the end of last year's road trip series I wouldn't be heading back towards Austria in a hurry, largely because they're so unfriendly towards camper vans. So it'll be interesting to see what attitude prevails in Val Senales. Are they more Italian or are they more Tyrolean? Because in Italy, of course, they're very friendly towards camper vans. There's camper van sites absolutely everywhere, and I've never had any issues parking up anywhere I want in Italy. But yeah, in Austria it was strictly verboten, so fingers crossed, despite being in the Tyrol, the Italian part of them is stronger than the Austrian part of them. Just hit the snow line now, thankfully only just below the top of the col, so yeah, no difficulty driving today, luckily. Thankfully the snow line's gone up quite a bit throughout the day, as it tends to do so. So driving over the pass would have been much more difficult first thing this morning, but yeah, a lot of the snow is now melted. Which fingers crossed means the other passes I've got to go over later today should also be snow free as well, but we shall see. Feels a lot like driving through Glencoe at the moment, just with much better road service. passed last time, so this is new to me and it's new to you. But what an absolutely amazing road. I'm just about reaching the snow line at 2,300 metres here, but clearly there had been a lot more snow earlier. There's some quite big piles on the side of the road where it's been ploughed off, so definitely glad I wasn't driving up here first thing this morning. There's so many amazing mountain roads in Switzerland for driving and for road biking. I'd love to come ride over this on my road bike as well, but sadly, definitely will not have time for that. So I finally made it to Schnellstau after around 12 hours of travelling, feeling absolutely exhausted. But unfortunately, it's starting to look and feel much more Tyrolean than Italian. Certainly when it comes to the attitude towards camper vans anyway. Everywhere I found that looked suitable to park, there were big signs saying no overnight parking, no camper vans, and all the car parks say no overnight parking. So it's been really difficult to try and find somewhere. I've been driving round and round in circles for at least the last hour, trying to find the least bad place to park. Because I've got to park somewhere. I'm absolutely exhausted now. I need to sleep. I can't just turn around and drive back to France. So that really isn't the best start to the road trip. I'm tired, I'm stressed, I'm not being able to eat a proper meal because, yeah, I don't want to get my camp stuff out again, so yeah. I'm absolutely exhausted and already feeling like I'm not supposed to be here. The one saving grace, if you can call it that, is that I need to be up before dawn anyway because the ski centre opens at 7:30 and so I need to get up really early to make sure I'm there in time and can get ready and be on the slopes ready for the first lift, so yeah. At the very least, if I'm up, my bed's packed away and I'm fully clothed and everything by the time it's dawn, if someone does come past and ask me what I'm doing, well, they can't prove that I've slept here, so as far as I'm concerned, I've just parked. But yeah, like I say, really not a great start to the trip. Morning all. So I ended up parking in a bit of a high ropes course. The parking here is reserved only for clients, but of course there's no clients in the middle of the night, so I'm not taking up anyone's space, so I'll take that technicality. The important thing is there's no signs explicitly saying no camper vans, so that's a win, although of course it's only very much a technicality. It's about 7 AM, not even the break of dawn yet. I've already had breakfast, done most of my faff, sorted out most of my kit. Now just to drive the 3 or 4 minutes back up the road to the ski centre and suss everything out. It's been raining on and off most of the night and it's really cold, so I expect the snow lines to come down quite a bit. I'm also soaked already, which isn't a very good start to the day. (7:35 AM). I've not seen the first cabin go up at the cable car yet, so I hope the lifts aren't on hold, because it's only open till 12:30 at this time of year, so it's a pretty short ski day. So it'd be a shame to pay all that money if it's then even shorter. So let's go find out what's going on. Okay, everyone appears to now be going into the lift station, so it must have just opened. Naturally, there are hundreds, perhaps thousands of ski racers here. Well, that was unpleasant. You get funneled into a characteristic European scrum for the lift queue, and then you get funneled through a tight chicane with metal barriers before the actual lift barriers, and it was just absolute chaos, absolute scrum. Even I was getting pushed around and crushed up against the barriers. I'm a big strong bloke. There's tiny kids there, they must be getting absolutely traumatised by that, unless of course they're used to it. But yeah, I think I'm literally the only person here not in race gear, and ski racers have got huge backpacks with multiple pairs of skis, multiple pairs of boots, everything strapped to them, and take up so much space. And yeah, they're all rushing around trying to get up here first. I don't know why, because they're not here to ski the powder, so why do they need to rush? But yeah, first impression so far is this is pretty shit. Here at this time of year costs 68 euros for a half-day ski pass, plus you got to pay 6 euros for the parking as well, so it's extortionately expensive for what you get. They're basically only one short, boring blue run available to me as a non-ski racer, and there's 2 red pistes which are closed off for the ski races. You have 200 metres of vertical, so again it's not only short, there's not much vertical either. So you're really not getting much for your money at this time of year. And the crazy thing is, in a few weeks' time when they open up a couple more lifts, the price goes down. And then end of November, start of December, for the main ski season, the price goes down again. So when there's much more skiing available, many more lifts open, so it's costing more money for them to run the ski area, it's a lot cheaper to ski than it is to ski this time of year. It's absolutely crazy. I believe that starting this season, it's now a legal requirement to wear a helmet for everybody skiing everywhere in Italy. Previously, it was only a legal requirement for children, people under the age of 18, but now it's everybody. It's a good job OutdoorMaster sent me this helmet, which arrived just in time, because my other helmet is back in the UK still. So yeah, I would have been a bit stuck if this didn't arrive. Now, I've not seen any signs or any kind of information on their website saying that you have to wear a helmet now, so maybe technically this doesn't count as the start of the season yet and I would have been okay. But I definitely don't want to have had to have taken that risk, come all this way, paid all that money, only to be told that I can't ski. They've taken most of the slalom gates down from the reserve piste now, so at least I can ski them as well. They're no more interesting than the piste I was skiing earlier, but at least it's something different. And it's also a little bit steeper as well. Plus the visibility has improved for the last half hour of the day as well. Better late than never. Typical. The cloud finally lifts enough for me to be able to see where I am, just as the lifts close. 12:30 now, I'm literally the last man standing. I came down even after the piste patroller, so this is it. It's closed now, time to head down. So the piste may close at 12:30, but the last cable car down isn't until 4:30, so you haven't got to rush when you're done at the end of the day. Granted, there's not much to do when you can't see anything up here, but you can enjoy a late lunch in the cafe and restaurant. And there's a bit of an exhibition on Otzi, the Iceman, downstairs as well, as his body was found just over a kilometre away from here, so you can check that out as well. And also some information on the various ice ages that have hit the area as well, so yeah. There's a few things to read and see and do, but yeah. Other than that, there's not a huge amount of point staying up here much longer if you can't see anything, unfortunately. I had hoped to be able to enjoy a good cheap pizza in the restaurant here. This is Italy after all, but unfortunately, much like with the camper vans, it definitely feels much more Tyrolean than Italian, so no pizza on offer in the restaurant. Rather it's schnitzel and strudel and more Austrian kinds of food, and obviously more expensive. Austrian prices as well, so yeah, unfortunately I have to head down and try and find pizza somewhere else. So that was Val Senales, or Schnellstau. Honestly, I would not recommend coming here for your autumn snow fix. Don't get me wrong, it was great to be back on snow, back skiing with lifts again today, but of all the Tyrolean ski resorts which open in autumn, objectively speaking, this is the worst by quite some way. Just look at the stats in terms of total acreage, total number of lifts, total number of runs, total number of vertical. It comes bottom of the table in all of them. So to be honest, unless you happen to live in Italy and this is your closest resort, I'd go somewhere else, because yeah, it's definitely not worth the over 70 euros by the time you include the parking, plus driving here and everything else, just for basically one run. Sure, in 2 or 3 weeks time they open up another part of the glacier which more than doubles the amount of skiable terrain and increases the vert by maybe 100 metres or so as well, but even after that it's still much smaller and much worse than all the other ski areas over on the Austrian side of the Tyrol. So yeah, if you had to pick one, I would pick one of those. I'm just on a little walk from the top of one of the other gondolas in the area, which is still running, to get a bit more value out of my lift pass basically. But then after this, I'll be heading back down the valley in search of food and to make a plan for the next few days, because the weather's looking pretty good for the next couple of days, so I need to make the most of it. This might be where I take a break for part 2 in these videos, depending on how long the edit is, of course. So if it is, then I'll see you in part 2. If it's not, then I'll see you tomorrow. Just doing some touristing. A road trip wouldn't be a road trip without seeing some of the sights. I drove through this pretty cool medieval walled town in the dark on the way down here. It's nice to actually come back and see what I missed. This is Glurns, or Glorenza in Italian. The main road from Switzerland runs right through the centre of this medieval walled town, basically, down these narrow cobbled streets and through these really impressive gatehouses. Despite being in Italy now, German is very much the dominant language and culture around here. You're more likely to find a Wurst house than a pizzeria, it seems.